Good morning to my viewers all across the world. Welcome to your Poetic Until Dawn Awaken show. My name is Emeka Ozurumba, and today I have a veteran with me of the U.S. Army. He's actually a poet. He turned to a poet. His name is David Langenhorst. He started his 8th decade of life, a veteran of the U.S. Navy from the Vietnam era. He retired from a career in ship repair and shipbuilding as a docent at the San Diego Maritime Association. David spent many hours aboard the Star of India. The sailing ship was launched in 1863 with the name Euterpe. In Greek mythology, Euterpe was the muse of lyric poetry. Perhaps Euterpe took a liking to David. David's life took a downturn when he went into a deep depression with the help of family therapists and fellow patients. The depression was conquered. Self expression is a part of mental health therapy. Good morning, David.
How are you?
Yeah, it's nice to see you and it's nice to hear from you. Yeah. So you're going to be reading us one of your poem titled Depression. Yeah, you're going to be
Depression.
reading Depression, yes.
Oh, you want to hear that one?
Okay, you could read your poem first.
Okay, just a second.
Sometimes I really think Euterpe was
Okay, here we go.
really,
Are you
really
ready for
involved
this
in
one?
this because from a marine to turn to a poet, wow, it's just very symphonic.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Okay.
Here's my confession. I have deep depression. There is no joy. There is no hope. I'm in a hole without a rope. It's dark each day. There is no sun. My life's a mess. There is no fun. I cannot think. I cannot feel. There is no one behind the wheel. Here's how it looks to me. Life is worthless. Don't you see? Is there a way to end this pain? All can't be lost. I'm not insane. Then someone says, come over here. Don't be afraid. There's none to fear. We have a plan to give you hope. We'll show some ways for you to cope. You're not alone, of this we're sure. Together, we will find a cure. What's that I see? A ray of light to brighten up my darkest night? Look inside. Look very deep. You have a soul that's there to keep. With help from others, with my desire, I'll throw bad thoughts upon the fire. There is a way, I know it's true, to feel emotion clearly, too. Now I have hope. I want to live. I want to laugh. I want to give. What kind of thanks can I convey to those who help me see the way? Just thank you, thank you, thank you so. You returned my life, I hope you know. I'll be forever in your debt. I'll be forever in your debt.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you give me an encore of your next piece?
What would you like next?
Any one of your choosing.
Okay, how about The Place?
Okay.
The Place. No organ, no choir, no stained glass windows, no scriptured words. The ceiling, an ocean with clumps of sea foam and wisps of spindrift. Sunrise frescoes, rainbows erupting into butterfly prayer flags, cactus candelabras, boulder, bluff, and crag idols, branches and roots calligraphy, where finches call to prayer and warblers share their mantra. Quaking aspen murmur softly, all anointed by rays of warmth. Here we worship.
Oh, that's
Thank
so
you.
nice. Mr. David, the Arandora Star, you know, when I was looking at the World War II, it sunk because it was going to, I think, the US or so, it sunk. So it was really traumatic during the time of the Navy by then. So could you tell me some of your experiences of really being a Marine?
I'm not a Marine. I was a sailor.
Okay, a SEAL, yeah, a sailor. Okay.
I was not in combat at all. I'm called a Vietnam era veteran because I was in that time frame. But I was discharged from the Navy in the end of 1964, which is before the actions in Vietnam really got very serious. So I was not in Vietnam. I was not in any combat situation.
Okay, okay. Your poem Depression, why did you, what made you fall into a depression?
Okay, I'll tell you. It's depression is mental illness. So I had mental illness, no doubt. Uh, I thought that we were in very serious financial straits. I convinced myself that we were going to lose everything. I convinced myself we were going to lose our house. We were going to be thrown out in the street. I convinced myself it wasn't true, but I convinced myself of that. And I just spiraled further and further and further and further down till I reached the point where I said life is not worth living. I actually got to the point where I had a loaded revolver in my hand.
A loaded
Uh,
revolver in your head. Wow, that was so bad. I'm so sorry about
yes,
that.
that's pretty bad. My wife saw it, called the police. I held them off for a couple hours. I finally gave up, and so I spent a month in a psych ward, if you will, mental health hospital, where I was not able to leave. Left there after a month, and went to outpatient therapy. And when I first, I had to go see a psychiatrist. She said I have to go to this therapy, so I went down to the therapy uh, um, uh, hospital, and they wanted me to come 4 days a week outpatient, and I said, no, 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 no. I said, it's not going to help me anyway, but maybe I'll come one day. And the therapist just said, please, David, please try. And so I went, and they put me in a senior group, which helped. It was people my own age, and we'd all been at that same point where we either tried to kill ourselves or we were talking about it or something along those lines. Anyway, part of the therapy is self-expression, and so my therapist wanted me to use colors to do, and I said, no, I really don't want to do that. And she said, well, David, you could uh, write a poem or a short story. And I said, oh, well, that might be interesting. And so her prompt was, what will I be? What would I be if I could be my perfect self? And so I wrote a poem about that in about 20 minutes. And it went over really well with the other patients, with her, and I actually enjoyed doing it. And so every time there was a
Okay,
self-expression
right.
exercise, I wrote a
Okay,
poem.
Mr. David, I just want to
Yes.
say I'm so sorry about your experiences. I thought it was a war scenario, but since it was not, it was more of a mental health kind of scenario. So I'm so sorry about that, but so happy that poetry gave you respite from that, and at least you were able to conquer your demons, and now you're very triumphant, and you're in your, you're an octogenarian now. So I give you kudos as a poet, and thank you so much for coming on the weekend show. Your poetry was really expertise to us, and we really do appreciate you on the show. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you
David.
so much
All
for
right.
having me. I'm honored,
Okay.
and I'm thrilled to be in Africa. Thank you.
Okay. All right. It's nice you're in Africa too. So I'm going to transition to, uh, Tende Chimelo to continue the program on Entrepreneurship
Okay.
Spotlight.